Oh, what up, though, Biz Nation? Stand up. Hey, yo, y'all remember this?
I'm at a place in my life where I feel like I have a target on my back. And because of that, I should make smart decisions. And recently, I didn't. Um, I'm not perfect. I'm not going to sit up here and say that I am or claim to be in any way, shape, or form. And I made a bad error in judgment and put myself in an environment where only bad things can happen, and they did. And in doing that, I know that I'm going to hurt the people closest to me, who I've talked to and apologized to, being my wife and my kids. And I just, it's a shitty moment. It's a shitty moment when you know you're wrong, and there's no excuses for your wrong behavior. At the end of the day, man, I just simply got to do better. But I'm not going to also allow a person to have financial gain off of my mistakes. And in this particular situation, that's what was attempted. I said I'd rather fess up to my mistakes.
That was Kevin Hart when he was apologizing for cheating on his wife while she was pregnant when he was in Vegas. But he said that because of my mistake, you're not going to get financial gain off of me. So he was talking about the extortion thing that happened. Remember? Now, they left some things out. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and recap real quick on what actually happened. All right, let's go.
She's the woman at the center of the Kevin Hart extortion scandal.
I'm not an extortionist. I'm not a stripper.
27-year-old Montia Sabag is speaking out today and defending her name.
I was involved with Kevin Hart a month ago. Since then, my pictures and my name have been released with lies written about me.
She and Hart were secretly videotaped getting intimate in a room at the Cosmopolitan Hotel in Las Vegas. The popular comedian and actor claims someone tried to extort a reported $10 million by threatening to release the tape. But Sabag says she knew nothing about the plot.
I had nothing to do with these recordings. I'm truly sorry for any involvement that I had in this.
Sabag is an aspiring singer and actress. Here she is dancing in a video she posted on Instagram. She says she and Hart got together in Las Vegas a month ago. Her attorney, Lisa Bloom.
Montia had a relationship over a period of days about a month ago with Kevin Hart in Las Vegas.
This new revelation could cause even more problems for Hart. It turns out his wife Aniko's 33rd birthday was a month ago, August 18th. The weekend he was partying with Sabag, Hart posted this sexy photo of his wife on Instagram with the message, "Happy B-Day to my fine wife. Sheesh, how'd I get so lucky? I love you to death." Hart and his wife seem to be trying to work things out. They were spotted having lunch together in Los Angeles on Wednesday.
Kevin, are you guys going to work it out together?
Appreciate you guys.
What'd you have for lunch, Kevin?
Over the weekend, Hart publicly apologized to his family for his indiscretions in Vegas.
Doing that, I know that I'm going to hurt the people closest to me, who I've talked to and apologized to.
According to People magazine, his wife, who is 7 months pregnant, is standing by him. Quote, "There is absolutely no divorce talk." Lawyer Lisa Bloom is suggesting Kevin Hart team up to go after the blackmailers.
He's the victim of a crime. She's the victim of a crime. We're going to law enforcement to catch the criminal who did this.
All right, so you saw that, right? You saw the whole thing. That's just a recap. Now, there was another guy that claimed that extorted Kevin Hart named JT Jackson. And remember, JT Jackson was a comedian. He was in the Let Me Explain video. He was in Think Like a Man 2. He was in some stuff. He's been a friend of Kevin Hart for years. But we never heard anything about what happened. We never heard his side of the story at all. And just check this out real quick. I'm telling you, this is what they do. They move inside. When they wrong, they move in silence. Check this out.
If you thought that I did something to you, and we're like this, and these accusations that they're accusing me, your boy, for 15 years, you don't want to sit down and talk to me, brother?
So as we move along, years go by, and then 2017,
Yeah.
the public finds out that a sex tape has leaked, and then at this time, Kevin jumps on social media to confront whatever he felt was happening to him.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on with you in this moment as his friend when you see this playing out?
Well, I ain't gonna lie, I was disappointed. Still am. I'm gonna be dead ass. Still am disappointed in him. You know, him and I, we've been friends, you know, since that happened, like a good 15 years strong. Like homie, you know my character. You're not gonna hang around somebody that for that long and invite them into your personal space, you know, not just, you know, like whatever happened that weekend where we all had a good time, we all went out, he invited us all out, but he invited me, my wife, to his home. He took us to Mexico. We had, you know, like that was the type of, that's how he looked at us, you know, and like I was just disappointed in, he just immediately, boom, sends out that tweet. Wow. Whatever else said, you know.
Got you.
Yeah, and I was just sat there and I was just like, really? You know what I mean? Like just like that, 15 years, you don't want to wait for the facts. You don't want to talk to nobody. You don't want to.
So there was no call to you?
No. And that was another thing. If you thought that I did something to you and we're like this, and these accusations that they're accusing me, your boy, for 15 years, you don't want to sit down and talk to me, brother? You don't want to look me in my eye and be like, you know, like he never, ever sat down and called me on the phone to say, yo, we need to talk, you know? And I just found that odd, you know? That's 15 years, brother. Come sit down with me. Talk to me. I wanted to talk to him, like, yo, hey, you know, that none of that never happened. Till this day, none of that never happened.
Wow.
Yeah. So again, I know he has his reasons. He got his team, you know, they telling him, you know, he's a megastar, you know, he can't get caught up into words and then now he may be liable for saying something and vice versa, you know, of us having a conversation that he may not want to have, you know.
Right.
So, but yeah, man, I was pissed, man. I'm gonna be dead ass. I'm still am, you know, I'm still am pissed, you know, about that.
And I think, you know, the reason why we wanted to speak with you is because from our perspective, you know, we got to see your name thrown out there in headlines.
Mm-hmm.
Judas, like Judas in the Bible, betrayed a friend.
Oh yeah.
Donkey of the day, like a lot of stuff has been said against
the disrespect. Yeah,
and we'll get into that. And then as your team pushes forward with the case, you start seeing these other headlines very quietly. Charges drop.
Yeah, very quietly.
And that was quietly. So for us, it made me feel like, okay, it's still some missing parts in this.
I'm
and
glad
this man, we learned about the internet. We're quick to kind of vilify you.
Real quick.
You see that? You see how it was very, very quiet. The charges was dropped. Look, this happens so often where when you have money and you have some power, you can make things look however you want them to look. You can create the narrative however you want to create it when you have the money and the power, per se. Now, we heard from JT Jackson. Charges was dropped, as you can see, very quietly. But I also want to highlight his lawyer, his criminal defense attorney, and let's see what he has to say as well. And just watch this.
Started out as a man who cheated on his pregnant wife on her birthday weekend in Vegas. That's how the story was run for a long time. And Kevin's team was successful in shifting that narrative to Kevin being the victim of something that happened in Las Vegas.
Attorney Jacob Glucksman. Jacob, can you kind of detail what's currently going on with JT?
Yeah, happy to. So what's going on right now is that, well, let me take it back for a second. When I came onto this case, we sort of blew it up and exposed to the DA that this has nothing to do with extortion. Whatever the allegations were, it has nothing to do with extortion. The DA, to his credit, agreed, saw that, and dropped all the extortion cases against JT. However, that wasn't it for the DA. They have an attitude of they won't stop at anything for this case. They have it out for JT and they will stop at nothing to get him. And that's what's very problematic about this case, because and that's unique to Los Angeles especially, because what we have going on right now is a celebrity case of celebrity justice, where you get one of the biggest stars in the world who is getting his own set of law enforcement and prosecutor and judge and justice system against someone who he feels did wrong by him. And that's not okay. We can't stand for that anywhere in our system. So you hear a lot about what's going on in the news now with criminal justice reform and police officers and law enforcement and prosecutors manipulating evidence, changing evidence, falsifying evidence. That's exactly what has gone on in this case. It started from the beginning. The original search warrants against JT were fraught, against not just JT, other companies as well, were fraught with errors, misstatements, untruths. I don't want to use the L word, but something real close to that. No. Okay. Something real close to that. Something real close to lies. Okay. Omissions, material omissions, riddled with it. Nothing was true. I mean, from the simplest thing, it said in the warrants that Kevin Hart received a text message at his home in Los Angeles County. Not only they knew full well he never received a text message, A, and B, he was not even at his home in Los Angeles County. A simple Google search showed that he was on tour in North Carolina at the supposed time he received a text message, which he didn't. No effort was ever made to correct that misstatement. Okay, so the reports are filled with these kind of inaccuracies. Now, when you fast forward, once the DA realized that and realized that they got it wrong, okay, and that's okay. You can get things wrong. And they realized that they got it wrong. What they should have done is drop the case, walked away. You know, what Kevin Hart did in Las Vegas, that was a bad move on his part. That was a mistake on his part. But what happened is that Kevin got together a team of very powerful and well-known attorneys, together with his whatever agents, managers, what have you. And they basically concocted a story to make Kevin look like the victim in the case. Then they got together, they presented this case to the DA. The DA and the investigator in the case, wow, they got a taste of celebrity here. One of the biggest stars in the world, Kevin Hart. And they went and ran with it. And they continue to persist on charges against Mr. Jackson when the evidence just doesn't bear out. They have gone so far as to literally make up a charge against him. And when you talk about what's going on in the world right now, when you have rapists and murderers and drug dealers and street robberies going on, here you have this man who served our country, who has absolutely no criminal record, and you have law enforcement and the criminal justice system doing everything they can to pin charges on this man. And that's not okay. And we need to stand against it. And we need to stand up for it. And you know what? Kevin Hart, I wish him well. He made a mistake that weekend, but for him to go and make himself the victim of a crime that never happened, that's not okay. And I think when it boils down to it, we're going to have 12 people sitting in a jury box who are going to agree with that this man did nothing wrong.
Yeah. Is this so? Just to clarify, the current charge is identity theft. That's the last one.
Yeah, the DA has really twisted the specific words and language of the identity theft charge, the statute here in California, to really narrowly fit allegations in this case. And there is no case with similar facts and circumstances that sets a precedent for this. Nothing that they can point to. And he's also charged it as a felony offense where this man could face state prison time if convicted. But fortunately, we know that, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Why do you, and just real quickly, why do you both can answer, think that these charges being dropped kind of happened so quietly?
I think it was a little bit of pie in the face, a little bit on the DA's part. But like I said, I give the DA credit for realizing that he had a legal problem with the case. However, and I will tell you this, I don't know if JT can tell you or even knows this, but like I just said, you have a case of celebrity justice where you have a very powerful celebrity with a team of high profile and high powered attorneys and agents and managers putting pressure on the district attorney's office to pursue charges. Because the stronger they go against JT, the more of a victim Kevin Hart becomes.
Honestly, my take on it is they thought that I was just this black dude that couldn't afford a lawyer, and they probably rolled the dice and thought I was going to get a public defender. No offense to public defenders, but they made so much noise in the beginning. Maybe due to perp walk, we got the guy. Kevin put out the Twitter, and it was this big thing, and again, like how he said, now it's the pie in the face. It's just like, oh shit, now they can, but it will make them look, extremely bad. And they probably thought about some lawsuit or whatnot. If they just come out and say, oh, well, we made a mistake. Kevin was never extorted.
And by that time, Kevin had shifted the narrative. This started out as a man who cheated on his pregnant wife on her birthday weekend in Vegas. That's how the story was run for a long time. And Kevin's team was successful in shifting that narrative to Kevin being the victim of something that happened in Las Vegas. And they weren't about to risk going back to Kevin going back to being that guy who cheated on his wife.
Absolutely. 100%.
Right. And just lastly, and to wrap this up, what was your reaction to when you got official word that the charges were dropped against you? Where were you? What were those reactions?
I was like, I knew it was going to be. I was just like, man, it didn't move me. I'm mad that it took so long. You know what I mean? Like,
JT has been stone cold since the moment I met him. Stone cold. I did nothing wrong. Yeah. Let's get this case dropped. And that's when they dropped those charges. That was his attitude. Okay, we hit that. We got that. We got that out of the way. Let's move on to the next thing. Where are we at now?
Right. And now we're here with and don't keep in mind that Kevin and his team never brought up, you know how it went down in the beginning. 2 charges, both extortion. The biggest one, but those were the only ones, in the beginning. A year and a half, 2 years later, oh, we're gonna give you this charge, identity theft. Like, come on, man. Like, so like, I don't know how the justice and the DAs work and in regards to adding new charges, but I'm just saying from the outside looking in regards to the DA's offices, Kevin never brought up anything about any identity theft. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, so where is this coming from? Whose identity am I stealing, or whatever the hell they want to say? The
first time we heard the word identity theft, was, if I recall correctly, August of 2019. That was nearly 2 years after the alleged incident, and a year and a half after charges were filed against Mr. Jackson. It was simply made up. They had to go with something. Yeah. They had to make something up. Yeah. They have to find something.
Boy, that lawsuit.
And that's not right.
So, just to kind of wrap this in a bow, you feel that your client clearly was a victim himself in this, and that the DA dug them maybe this hole so deep that they just have to now push forward? Or
that's sort of how I feel. Listen, I think we as a society have to expect more from our criminal justice system. And we live in a day and age where we're looking from the outside in at the criminal justice system, wanting reform, wanting change. And this highlights it. He deserves that. He deserves to be the product of change here. You have a case that did not bear out the way they thought it would. Be a man about it. Dismiss the case. Let this man go home to his loving wife.
They miscalculated him. Yeah, they miscalculated him. They, again, no shot at my old lawyer, but I think they thought they can get over on him.
I appreciate that, but let me tell you something. If it was not Kevin Hart who was at the other end of this, if it was Joe Schmo versus Joe Schmo, they'd say, case dismissed, good luck to you in life.
Look, so there it is. I mean, it's amazing what you can do with money. It's amazing how you can create the narrative that you want to create, even though you're wrong, man. And so this is one of the reasons why we can't get caught up in the hype when it comes to these celebrities, when it comes to people that we rock with on an entertainment level. I mean, yeah, sure. Everybody have their people that they rock with, but truth is truth. This man right here, the charges were dropped on him because you didn't have any evidence. And if you had a problem and I've been your boy for 15 plus, yo, you got to holler at me, dog. You can talk to me, bro. Like, you already know. I'm with you. Wife, family, everybody is around you. You can't holler at your boy? Come on, man. So I thought this was very interesting. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up. If you don't like it, you don't like it. It's all good. This is Biz Nation, man. We're going to stand up regardless. You feel me? So at the end of the day, go ahead and share this video, like this video. Hey, man, I'll see y'all in the comments. Let's go. Peace.